Well, it's Saturday, and you all know what that means. That means it's AEW Collisions. So, this is our only review that we are going to do. As you all know, I just recently uploaded the much recent video, the DWZ at the wrestling events, when I went to LA to attend Dynamite and Rampage. However, it took me a long while. There were some mistakes along the way because of the editing that I was doing, but I was able to get that done as soon as possible. But however, I decided, you know what, not to waste time with trying to do other reviews. I decided just to focus on this one. But I also decided, as the judgment called, want out some news updates for all of you. That way we can keep in tabs what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and all this other stuff. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do, of course, more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do real timing news updates to keep you guys on alert. If anything has happened in the world of pro wrestling, I will try to address it for all of you ASAP. We also do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content on this channel as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have set aside, I believe it's time to get this show on the road. So this is our only review that we're going to do on this episode. Let's get started with AEW Collision. All right, AEW Collision. As you know, we're still coming off from Double or Nothing this past Sunday. It opened up with an interview in the ring with Tony Schiavone, where he talks to FTR. As you know, they were pretty banged up, but they were willing to admit themselves that what happened this past Sunday at Anarchy in Arena, that they failed to do what they were supposed to do to defeat the Elite and save AEW from them. But however, they did stated that this summer they will all come back and get the revenge on the Elite, despite that the Elite think they may have they won the war, but they only won the battle. So the battle for the supremacy in the Elite is still continues on. So we will see them, of course, again at some point. However, we did see some exclusive content that happened this past Sunday with Jack Perry. As you know, he was set on fire, and he is still claiming that he is there to save AEW. Now they're trying to make AEW all about them. That's always been the clear case, but we'll see what happens until then. So the war between AEW and the Elite rages on. Now, our first match of the night, we have Roderick Strong. As you know, he is not a happy camper ever since losing the AEW International title to Will Ospreay. He faces against Leo Rush. Now, Leo Rush, I can say this, he's a very fast-paced wrestler. Of course, his agility is his speed are his main weapon. But however, he needs to have eyes in the back of his head because you know Roderick Strong has Tweedledee and Tweedledum by his side. I'm referring to Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. So as you know, I'll call Matt Taven Tweedledee and I'll call Taven Tweedledum. So basically, they get involved as always. We've seen that too many times with them. But however, of course, you would have thought that Leo Rush would have been out, would have played a smart game. But however, it wasn't smart enough until, of course, he ended up on the wrong side of End of Heartaches, giving Roderick Strong the win. However, because of this win, Roderick Strong decided to look for Tony Khan instead of having his interview with Lexi. He demanded he wants a shot of the title because, as you know, he was supposed to be the final participant, but due to the timing of the gauntlet match, it made it impossible. So Tony Khan decided to have a genius match. Decided, how about this Wednesday, you and Swerve Strickland? So basically, of course, Roderick Strong is happy as a clam. But however, whoever walks out of that match will face Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door. Now, our next match is Daniel Garcia and Katsuyori Shibata. Now, as you know, they have teamed up before. You can see a little bit of Daniel Garcia, who is having the image of Katsuyori Shibata. However, he has now one goal in mind, and that goal is to make his way to the AEW International Championship. However, he has to stack up wins in order to do so. But right now, him and Shibata have to face with, of course, two of the most strongest and capable wrestlers, Anthony Henry and JD Drake, better known as the Workhorsemen. Now, of course, it's no secret the Workhorsemen are two of the toughest SOBs on the planet. But, as you know, Daniel Garcia and Shibata, they can work together nicely. I think they did a pretty fantastic job because, of course, Shibata put Drake in of course, in a sleeper, then the PK, and then, of course, Garcia finished it off with the jackknife, giving him the win. However, this may have played out a good win for Garcia, but however, he needs to stack up more wins in order to plead his case for a shot of the AEW International title. Now, at the results of what happened at Double or Nothing, we saw that Willow Nightingale was betrayed by not only Stokely Hathaway, but also by Chris Statlander, and of course, Statlander and Stokely decided to say that they're going to take out the trash, and they did that with Willow. But now they're putting the entire women's division on notice. But it's only a matter of time until Willow returns and kicks Chris Statlander's ass, just like Mercedes Moné mentioned on Dynamite. Yes, I was there, folks. I just put the video. But of course, Stokely Hathaway was like, "What did she just say?" Well, you should know. Now, our next match, we have Thunder Rosa. She takes on Reina Dorada. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with her, she is a Mexican luchadora. I'm not sure what promotion she is, but I would say she is from CML. You know what? Just to check it out. You know, let's see if that's the case, because I feel like I don't know what promotion she's normally from. Let me pull up. Hold on a second, give me a minute. No, she's a freelancer, but however, let me look at her career a little bit. Well, she has appeared in AAA and other independent promotions down in Mexico. So yeah, so basically she is a freelancer. So yeah, not much about her. I know recently I did report it that she will team up with Sexy Star at a House of Glory show, but Thunder Rosa picked up the win by applying a submission move. So we've been seeing so many submissions in her a lot. So that's pretty much okay from there. Now, our next match, we have Trios Actions, and of course, Tony Schiavone has that distinct feeling that these guys could be in a running for a shot of the Unified World Trios titles. We're talking about the Cage of Agony, Teo Leona, Bishop Khan, and Brian Cage. They take on Danny Rose and Ricky G. You may know them as Los Suavecitos, based in LA, and of course, KM. Now, of course, you know that this is going to be a match where, of course, someone is going to be squashed like a bug, and unfortunately it turned out to be, of course, Danny Rose, and it was Bishop Khan that picked up the win by pinning Danny Rose. And of course, Tony and Schiavone does made it clear that it looks more like they could go for another shot of the trios titles, and of course that idiot Nigel McGuinness agrees with them, and I have to say I agree with you. It's only a matter of time until that happens. Now, our next match, we have Claudio Castagnoli taking on Johnny TV. Now, of course, Johnny has his wife, Tail Valkyrie, to be involved. Now, I don't know what Tail Valkyrie was thinking, but if I was her, I would not get involved with them, but she did. She even interfered in the match, but of course, Claudia was going to get her face. Oh, excuse me. But not even Johnny TV could stop a guy like him, but it took a big swing and then a lariat to put him down, and just like that, it was completely over. Now, our next match, we have Shane Taylor Promotions, consistent of Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor, along with that moron Anthony Ogogo, taking on the West Coast Wrecking Crew. If you guys aren't familiarized with those guys, I often mention them on New Japan Strong in certain promotions. They are one of the best tag teams in the independents, and of course, they have made many attempts for the New Japan Strong openweight tag team titles. But, however, they have to face against a team that are the toughest and the strongest as well. We're talking about Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. But it only took Lee Moriarty to take out Jarrell Nelson to pick up the win. And of course, post-match, Anthony Ogogo KO, of course, Royce Isaacs as a message to anybody that stands in their way. Now, speaking of trios constituency, as you know, the Iron Savage and Jack Jiminson are making a play now for the trios titles. But, however, before they can proceed anything further, they were viciously attacked by Killswitch. I'm sure Killswitch is on the verge of getting pissed off, knowing he has failed this past Wednesday to defeat Swerve Strickland. So basically, I'm sure. But the real question is, what's going on now? Is the collar off of him? That is still an unclear question. But we will see what happens. Now let's jump into our main event, which is the AEW International Title, Will Ospreay versus Kyle O'Reilly. What a great match! I have to say it was a fantastic match. Kyle O'Reilly, I have to say he is one of another tough SOB that you definitely want to get behind. But Will Ospreay, you know, he's incredible. You know he is what he can. I mean, he did state he did stated that he is on a different level, and I'm sure probably Kyle O'Reilly wasn't too sure if that was a statement or a matter of fact. But you can say is tomato or tomato. That's how you would say. But you would think that maybe Will Ospreay will finally apply the Tiger Driver. Nope. Of course, he used the Stormbreaker to pick up the win, just like that. Now, before the end of the show, we did see Swerve Strickland talked about Will Ospreay, talked about how they're both similar and both they're at the top of the game and all that. So they felt like they need each other, but they will come across each other at Forbidden Door. But Will Ospreay is not overlooking the one person who has been booked to challenge him for the AEW World Title this Wednesday, and that is Roderick Strong. So the obvious thing is, will Roderick Strong be enough to defeat Will Ospreay, or will Tweedledee and Tweedledum interference make a play? Well, we'll just have to wait and see until we get to this coming Wednesday. So I think that's pretty much it for our only review of the day. I believe it's time for news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is going to be a bit of a short one or so. Let's start with the promotions on their updates for their upcoming events. As you know, Kitsune Women's Wrestling will have their upcoming LA show on August 18th. Many names have been announced. However, another name has been announced, added for the upcoming event, and that is, of course, currently the Kick Demon herself, Janai Kai. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. Now, we still haven't known what matches are taking place, but we do know that our current women's champion will be involved in that. Now, moving on for our last update for another promotion, and this one is from House of Glory. They just announced a brand new show is coming soon. Now, no specific date has been announced. However, this specific area, or should I say the city they want to do their upcoming show, will take place in Sin City. We're talking about Las Vegas, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. Yep, that's right. They will be heading there. However, it appears that Las Vegas promotion, Future Stars of Wrestling, are now keeping an eye on this. Now, I'm sure many of you would think that maybe House of Glory are stepping on someone's turf without permission, or I don't know. But we'll see what happens until then. Now, let's move on with some developments. Now, I have not seen MLW for quite some time, but however, this one was the biggest surprise slash shocker I've ever heard. As you know, Contra Unit has been causing all kinds of hell since now Matt Kruger is in charge. Apparently, a brand new member has emerged, and that member is, and I think many of you will be like, what the fudge? That's right. That person is none other than Murder Grandpa, the King, Minoru Suzuki. I was completely was like, whoa. However, we do know not too long ago, he already disbanded Suzuki-gun last year, and now he disbanded Strong Style because Ren Narita turned turned coat to join the House of Morons. But yes, so it's interesting to hear that he is now involved with that. But we'll see what happens until then for that. Now, as you know, recently Mayu Iwatani has been talking recently on certain things, on certain subjects. Now, one of these subjects is about, of course, hold on, got the wrong page. Well, one of these things, first one he talks about, of course, is this. Why did she wanted to leave Stardom for Marigo? And this is what she had to say. The reason I wanted to leave was because I thought I could leave the current Stardom girls, even without Mayu. Everyone has grown at some point. They can show it in the matches, so I don't have any worries about it, about whether it will be okay, just because wrestlers leave in the future. I can say that with confidence that everything was an absolute fine, and I was able to concentrate on the message. The president is very sincere in his approach. I may have complaints about the president or the company in the future, but I have sense of trust that what I will solve will be one by one. So basically, she thought about it. But however, she had thought about going, but apparently she did say this, that she decided against it. I myself even thought about transferring at one point. On top of that, I had many conversations with Ogawa-san and the current president, Okada-san. The answer I finally came was if Uda, Utami, Yoshida, and Julia were gone. Ogawa-san and Mayu were gone. Stardom will no longer be Stardom. I have properly repaid a favor to the company that allowed me to work for 13 years. I also owed a lot to Ogawa, but I think I have been able to repay him by working hard until now. So from now on, I will properly give back to the company. As long as I'm there, Stardom will remain Stardom. It will be something that I thought on my own, but after talking to Okada-san about it, I decided to stay. So basically, she decided to stay because she felt, of course, how do I put this? That it will never be the same without her. I mean, she is the ace for Christ's sakes and the icon. But however, she also talked about Rossy Ogawa and Fuka reuniting. And this is what she had to say about that too. It's like parents, Ogawa and Fuka, who gave birth to a wrestler, Mayu Iwatani, and remarried. I guess that means that I have to leave behind my parents, thinking like I'm more famous than them. Stardom has always proven itself to be at the top of the women's wrestling, so I can't let that be overturned. And I think the reason I'm here is to position Stardom as the top. So as the icon of Stardom, I will continue to protect it. I cannot compromise that, even if it's my benefactors or my parents. So she views Fuka and Rossi as her parents. I mean, Rossi has been like a father figure to Mayu. Don't forget, if you heard those stories about Mayu stayed at his apartment rent free, and I think that says a lot. It's like you see a proud father watching his daughter grow. However, now that she stayed, it's like their parents got back from a nasty divorce and remarried. but of course he cannot allow those emotions get the best of her. Now, recently she talked about something very interesting, and I think many of you may want to question that too. There was about on the new Queen's Quest leader and possible changes in stars. First of all, with the leader of Queen's Quest, Ayashida, gone, I'm looking forward to see who the leader will be, whether it will be the further expansion or reorganization of the units. On the other hand, I sometimes think about stars that it's not interesting because the members haven't changed. So I'm wondering if we'll expel someone. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. I mean, expelling someone, that's not gonna be an easy thing. So yes, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Now, as you know, Julia, as on of course last month on May 20th, injured herself with her wrist. Uh, Good news coming after she had a successful surgery. She just revealed that she can finally move her fingers again. I have to say it's excellent news. I'm glad that she's in fact on the road to recovery, hopefully in time for her match against Sari. But the real question is, can she make it in time for NXT? That's something I think many of you who are big fans are expecting that. So we'll see where that leads us. Now, finally, marvelous talent Maria has, as you know, there was concerns over her match against Unagi, where she might have injured herself, and she put out a statement about this. Thank you for yesterday's marvelous Shinkiba show. I'm sorry for worrying everyone. I went to the hospital and got checked, and I was able to exercise at the dojo, so I'm fine. But even so, I didn't know she had something so crazy that I couldn't move. It can't end like this. So, if you guys ever seen Unagi Sayaka use this one move, it looks more like something similar as, of course, the Last of the Dragon. But I don't know if it's a dangerous move to use. But I'm glad that Maria got checked out, that she's doing okay. Hopefully, there's no other injuries in that move specifically. But we will see what happens until then. But as of right now, I think we are completely done with our news updates and, of course, our reviews. I believe it's time to call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. Now, I'm behind on All Japan Pro Wrestling and Noah and certain events that I haven't seen, including GCW. But however, I haven't decided where we're going to go from here on out. But right now, my main focus I want to do, because I'm way behind on this one, I'm planning to release the next Unagi Sayaka watch and, of course, the discussion video involving Starlight Kid. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of answers about that one. The discussion about Starlight Kid is about the possibility of her taking off her mask. And I know many of you may have a hard time trying to accept it. But I think the real question all of you are going to ask is this: J-Rock, can she succeed without the mask? Well, we're going to deep dive on certain situations on that. But you have to wait and see. I think this is going to be a very educational and very knowledgeable for all of you to know about this, about the scenarios that could lead to possibility for Starlight Kid if she's able to succeed without her mask. So I think that's pretty much it for now. This is what I have to say. But at this moment, I will see you guys on the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.